Hello, everyone. Andrew Taylor here. Today we have two special guests with us, Shawn Maike and Brad Lea. Brad, first of all, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
I was watching your podcast the other day, and Shawn Maike, who I've worked closely with for the last 10 years, was on there. And you guys were talking about maybe doing you building a life insurance agency.
100%.
And I thought, you guys are both in Las Vegas. Let's get you both in here and kind of talk about what this looks like. And one thing I'm interested in knowing is you've been training on sales and entrepreneurship for a long time. Why did you pick to do this now, and why with us?
Well, with you guys, because I align with the same principles. You know, you're trying to, like, family first, like, that's me. Number two is because I think I've looked around and you guys have the best comp plans. You have the best support people. You're doing it right. And not only that, but the reasons you're doing it, I align with. That's why.
I love that.
But I can tell you this, you know, I'm excited for one reason. You know, I've given a lot of people a lot of information for a long time, trying to help them, you know, get to another level. But I always just kind of drop it on their lap. I've never given them the vehicle. This is the vehicle.
And if you've not seen, and I was saying this to both of y'all earlier, Andrew's he's a weird kind of cat. You know, he kind of sits around and reads stuff and listens to stuff all day. He's just what he does, man. Nothing wrong with it. Super sharp, works hard, but he's taking stuff in. And you know, he's asked me to watch podcasts and all kinds of stuff. And a lot of times I don't like them. I'm like, dude, I don't like that. Like, you know, like, fine. He's like, well, you didn't like it? I'm like, no, the part where I said I didn't like it, I didn't freaking like it. Like, I didn't. And then I watched yours and I was like, this dude genuinely wants to get what you just said, information in people's hands. And also, he's not acting like he's the Dalai Lama. Like, he ain't sitting back going like, the reason you should follow me is I'm the greatest human being that's ever been created in the entire world, and I'm the best. It's like, no, I'm working hard. I'm not scared to give you the information. I want to see you win. I'll stand up for you. I'll stand side by side with you. You know, when you get knocked down, I'm here, bro. You got to get yourself back up, but I'm still standing next to you. So I think we started talking about it, you know, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that have influence, but if you don't have concern and compassion for other people, I just don't know how far that goes. And you have it, and you're excited to do it, dude. And we're excited for the partnership. We really are. We're excited for your group and at FFL. And you're like, you know, it reminds me of a few other people that have joined us. They're like, how fast what's the fastest? That's always my favorite question. What's the fastest somebody's built an agency? What number and how long did it take them? Right? That's what you asked.
That's
like
100%.
100%. And I said, well, they've got a guy right now about 9 months, paid life. He said, I'll do an 8. He said, I might even do it quicker. I said, well, and he's like, but you know what's funny? He just wants to do it because first of all, I like competitive, but you also want to serve all these people. You got a lot of people listening to your podcast and they want a better way.
100%. And dude, COVID, you know, all the crap that's going on right now, you know, there's a lot of people in a little bit of trouble, and they're actually not in trouble. They're just not aware of how to get out of the area they're in. And I know how to get out of it. I didn't have a vehicle. I could say, go do this, go get a job here, go get a job there, go do this, go do that. Now I'm going to say, look, here's exactly how you do it, and I'll give them the job.
Correct.
Like, I'll provide the job.
And I like talking to you about it originally because I liked it's great because it takes you back to how I looked at it in 2008. You're like, but why doesn't everybody do it then? I'm like, dude, we don't do good enough recruiting. And you're like, this isn't even a sale. Like, you've said that to me, you know, even on the podcast a bunch, like they already want the coverage. There's not, you know, we'll get 75% of the people to close it. Yeah, we should, you know, and I think that it's, and you think about the difference that's going to make in people's lives, especially in today's world. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, the weirdest thing for me, and I've heard you talk about a lot of these things in your podcast, is you put your trust in, I want to put my trust in my work ethic. That's what I want to do. And I don't want to go work at a company where I might work there for 7 years. They might get upset one day, outsource me, sell to somebody else who walks in and goes, hey, Shawn, thanks. That was a lot of fun. Here's 1 more week's pay. Have a nice life. And then when that happens, people go like, I got screwed. I'm like, wait a minute. How did you get screwed? You chose to work there. You waited for them to give you a paycheck, did everything they told you to do the entire time, and you got screwed. Dude, you didn't own anything. They exercised their right to go, hey, man, we're good. sold the company and you're out. And I think that for me, what's nice here is everybody has the ability to come in here, but you're going to teach them how to build a business through a model that works. And it's life insurance, dude. There's a lot of money in life insurance. First time I ever went to an insurance carrier, I'm not going to say which one it was. They told me they had 30,000 employees.
Yeah.
And I was like, good Lord, they must have a lot of money, right? And then you couldn't figure out what everybody did. I was like, what do they all actually do? And then you're like, they just have so much money. And then every time I'd go to a bowl game or a Super Bowl, they sponsor everything. And I'll fly somewhere and I see these jets and they have their names. It's like, dude, there's plenty of money. Why can't we get that shared amongst a bunch of us who, like, I went to Eastern Connecticut State University, which nobody's ever heard of, and I studied social work. So what? My mom didn't make no money. Like, but so why can't I go ahead and do it? I think you have an army of people who are trying to change their families, in my opinion, I know that's me, trajectory. Like, I don't want to be stuck here. I want to move up a couple classes. I kind of want to, and I mean income classes. I want to move up a couple of income classes. Like, I don't want to be seen, like my mom, I love her, but I didn't want to be broke. I didn't. I didn't want to share a one-bedroom apartment with, I didn't want to have my kids and, you know, my spouse. I didn't want that. I mean, I didn't want all those people in one apartment. So I didn't want that. Dogs, cats, nobody. But we think we can't get any better.
That's a limited belief. That's where I'm going to help people also.
What makes you so excited about, you've looked at a lot of other vehicles. I know we've talked about it a little bit. How many people, I'm just curious, I have no idea, I'm spitballing, I don't know if you know. How many people do you think that listen to you on a regular basis are going to go, you know what, dude, I got to give that a shot?
In my estimation, I would say, you know, at least 10, 20,000.
I think so too.
How
dude.
many people
I
listen
really
to you
do.
on a regular basis?
Hundreds of thousands.
Like on a regular episode, you have hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, I get hundreds of thousands of downloads to the podcast, but I've also got 500,000 following me on Instagram. I've got, you know, another million from around the channels, and I haven't even got started yet. So, I mean, like, I know how to get even more than that. But again, the to me, like when you say in life insurance, dude, that's where it starts. That's not where it ends.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you need a vehicle. And in the insurance space, whether it's mortgage protection, final expense, or whatever you're doing, once you can generate on your own terms, you know, not missing any birthdays, you want to stay an extra 5 days in Cancun, you don't have to ask somebody. You get your, you know, let's say you take things into your own hands.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, dude, they make decent, you know, and that's barely living.
Correct.
And they'll even admit it. Like, they're just getting to a point where they have a little bit of extra money, and that little extra money is what allows you, if you're smart, to get out of the rat race. Well, with this vehicle, insurance, anyone can get going and then start buying, investing, putting money away, doing other things, to where eventually it's the insurance vehicle that allowed them to get out of the rat race. Because I see people eventually, you know, like, again, I mean, I've never been in insurance. Nobody told me about this shit. I mean, this stuff.
You're doing good, bro. You're doing good.
Yeah, but nobody told me about this, man. Dude, where have I been? If I would have known how this whole thing works, I'd have been here 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, it might have been Brad first life. Yeah. But I like family first anyway, because again, to me, there's a lot of good people that just don't have the right information. They don't have the right mindset. They have limited, you know, scarcity-based beliefs from their parents, from their upbringing, whatever the case may be. And I'm already good at breaking those. So I can show people how things are possible. They get excited, but I've never had the Wonka ticket.
Correct.
You know, I say, hey, it's possible. People are like, I know. And then, you know, they'll go out there and try. And it's like, hey, dude, here's the information and here's the job. And I call it a job because, like, there's work, man. This isn't magic. Correct. You got to pick up the phone. You can't be afraid. So I can get people the right information. I can teach people how to close and persuade. I can teach people how to build relationships. I can teach people how to, instead of getting one policy, you end up with 10 from the same damn lead. I can show people how to prospect, generate their own policies. I mean, leads.
Mm-hmm. No, I think what you're gonna be surprised about too, because you haven't entered this, is how many people that work outside of FFL. And we didn't do it with some, you know, because we had this influence. We did it because people were tired of being broke, and they had an insurance license, and they were in what I believe the greatest industry there is to make money. I believe that. Nobody's gonna convince me otherwise. I do. And they're frustrated, they're angry, and they're told they have good culture, except they ain't got no freaking money. So they're told they have good culture, you know, but they have no money. And they're going to realize that they can actually, there's people watching your podcast weekly that have an insurance license, obviously, who don't even know that they can do something because the company they're at tries to keep them in the dark. I did that 5 years. 5 years. I beat my head against the wall. 5 years. Like went out, made my sales 50, 60, 70 hours a week because full-time is not an hour less than 40. And like, because we're adults, and especially when you make money, it is a job when you start working. You're working for yourself, but it is a job. But I think, you know, what you said about having, it's like you had everybody in the locker room. They ran out the locker room. There's no game to play. Like you had them all jacked up because they were excited and you empowered the hell out of them.
Yeah.
But now you hand them a vehicle. And you're going to be surprised. There are hundreds of thousands of agents right now, probably watching this, that don't work with us, that have been saying, like, is it really real at Family First Life? Like, my company keeps telling me. I always tell people, what's that?
They all say it's fake.
We're by far the biggest. We partner with Integrity, which is an insanely big organization. And at the end of the day, they're going to go, well, don't believe them. It's not real. If you're working somewhere else and you don't believe it's real, why don't you try it?
Well, not only that.
Why wouldn't you try it?
But now if you're infusing BL into the deal, it's got to be real. That's why I'm calling
real financial.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling my little group.
Yeah, it is
real financial.
Yeah, real people, real numbers, real results, real financial. Well, and that's the thing. I think what's happening with folks like you is you're going, dude, we see what y'all are doing. We see the results you're creating. We see the way people are living that are working with you. Why in the world am I not going to go ahead and, amongst the other things I do that? And then you take somebody like Andrew, who was messing around real estate doing his other things, and then was able to do what he did with this company and an entity, because now you own. Here's the craziest thing for me, Brad. Still, I can't communicate this to people outside the business. You have a couple hundred agents that work with you. Okay, they sell life insurance with you. You don't own anything per se, yet it has an insanely high market value that you can go ahead and do a transaction with Integrity on something you don't own. Like you own your podcast. If I try to duplicate it, you go, hey, dude, I'm suing you. Like, I got all that stuff, Trevor. You can't do that, right? You own that, right? The training, all that stuff's intellectual property. You own all that. Here, it's like we got agents working and selling life insurance. There's no warehouse full of anything. There's none of this kind of stuff.
Protection.
What's crazy is that has a value. Like you literally own it. I think that's the coolest thing for me. We now have 18 people that have worked with FFL that have gone on. We have a bunch more coming. Have gone on and done their own transaction with Integrity, and they can just keep rolling and keep growing it because what he's going to be able to do, I mean, talk about this is who's watching your podcast. The 18-year-old Andrew Taylor's got done bagging groceries.
Yeah.
No high school education, barely, right? Bagging some groceries, paper or plastic. Hey, nothing wrong with that, except he's like, I want more. Like, I don't judge nobody because I don't want to be judged. I ain't judging anybody. But then to be able to go be worth what he's worth, I mean, like,
you don't have to judge.
Are you kidding me?
But you can inspect their fruit.
Yeah. Can inspect your what?
Their fruit.
There you go.
It says you'll know my children by their fruits.
So I like that.
I'm just a fruit inspector. I'm not judging. I'm just a fruit inspector.
Real quick, you mentioned leads.
Leads.
When you guys were on your podcast, you guys were talking about leads. And there's a lot of people in the industry that don't care about leads. They think they're a waste of money or
they're brainwashed, dude.
Can you talk about that? Because you liked,
and they are brainwashed.
You liked this.
Yeah, anybody
deal
working
because
for
of leads.
half comp is brainwashed.
Amen.
You know, hey man, but we're all a family. Hey dude, listen, if they were your family, they'd be giving you more. Okay, I'm serious.
I know
if
you
they
are.
care about you, they'll be giving you more. Why are they not giving you more? There's no, because I've done a little research. There's no rational explanation other than because they want more.
Greed.
They want more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've heard, well, you know, they got to earn it. You know, why they got to earn it? You know, at the end of the day, they'll earn the damn thing. But to me, if you have, in my opinion, your intentions in the right place, you can't lose. And if I've got the ability to give you more and I don't, well then, you know, what am I really doing? I'm more worried about me, right? And if you're worried about you, that's great. But Zig Ziglar taught me this a long time ago. The best way to get what you want is to help others get what they want. And people want to get some freaking relief, bro. Like there's people out there, they're hard working, dude. They're getting up, they're putting blisters on their hands. They love their kids. They can't buy enough school clothes. They can't, you know, it's just high pressure. Families fight over money.
100%.
And then nobody wants to focus on money. Well, money makes a massive impact.
Well, I think here's the other thing, Andrew. I think the reason this is going to be so successful is somebody asked me what makes good culture, if you want. I'm always like, the word gets so so bastardized nowadays. I said accountability and attitude. The reason that it'll grow real fast, systems are great, and I believe in everything you're doing, believe me. But I think at the core, yours is pretty straightforward, which is, dude, you got to go to work. And you get nothing for not going to work. And we get people that get caught up as they're building a business. And what is Tim doing? Or what is bad? You know, like, well, I'm having a bad day. Dude, I don't care. Like, when did I tell you? And by the way, I care about you as a human being. But right now, it don't matter. It doesn't matter.
But that's mindset.
You need to go. Exactly. But I'm saying that's my point, is the reason it's going to be when we've seen people grow up real fast, their mindset's been ridiculously good, focused, positive. They're accountable people, and they don't deviate on that. So it's like if you call 20 leads, they all say no because your attitude sucked. I mean, you got 20 people that want life insurance to say no to you. That's actually impressive. Can you train on how to not to do that? Please.
Well, number one, yes, but number two, if you're only calling 20 leads, that's probably the problem.
There you go.
There.
That's it. But that's why he's going to win.
But even in the beginning, when you said, you know, you're having a bad day, you got to let people understand. If I just gave everyone listening $1 million cash, they would be enthusiastic. They would be fired up. They would be so freaking pumped for weeks, maybe even a year, depending on who they were. Just a free $1 million cash. Well, if I said I'm going to give you $1 million, but you can't wake up tomorrow, what do you think people are going to say? Well, of course not. I don't want that. Well, then how come you don't wake up with the same gratitude as getting handed $1 million cash? Which means waking up is worth more than $1 million. And if you're thinking about that, you go, well, technically it's worth more than $10 million.
It doesn't matter what the money is.
So if you can just learn to shift your perspective every day when you wake up to a perspective of gratitude, there is no such thing as a bad day. You woke up, brother. So it's a good day. The question is how good is it going to get? Now, you call 20 people and they don't answer. You call 20 people, they all say no. Brother, that just means freaking practice a little bit, dude. Plug back into the system. Plug back into the support. I'll show people how to get a closing percentage that can make them a living, even if they're terrible, especially because we're not selling something that costs millions of dollars. Like, I'm teaching people how to close deals that take 6 months normally, 6 month sales cycles, and I'm teaching them how to close it in 2 weeks, you know, and it helps the family and it helps them. Dude, that's ridiculous.
Did you know on most products the customer gets all of their money back if they don't use it?
Dude, I don't know half of what I need to know, but all I know is I know what I need. In other words, what was I going to say? I know everything I need to know to get in. Why? Yeah, I feel dumb for not even knowing about it or understanding this. Because again, a couple times people said blah blah blah, and I'm like, you know, I don't sell insurance, dude. I'm not gonna sell insurance, dude. I got Lightspeed, I got RV dealerships, I got other companies, I got lead companies. I was selling insurance people leads, you know, and these are people raising their hand. You know, it was funny too, is because one time I got a partner in that deal, and I said, well, dude, if these insurance companies are paying so much for these leads, why do you think they're doing that? He says, well, you know. And I said, because they're selling. I go, why don't we just hire 10 people and call them ourselves? Like, would you rather have $75 for the lead, or would you rather call them and get the big dough?
That's right.
And the renewals.
Yeah, and he said the same thing. He's like, dude, we're not in the insurance game. We're in the lead game. And I'm like, oh, okay, you understand. But now I get it, dude. Now I'm pissed I'm not already in it. Like, I'm rushing to get fully ready to rock and roll because I'm going to save a lot of people's lives. Mm-hmm. And not like from life and death, but from depression and
which could be life and death.
Could be. It could end up that way. You know, I don't like to ever, like, you know, people say you changed my life all the time. And I always go, dude, it wasn't me, because it wasn't. It was you. So because it isn't me. It'll never be me. It's you. You decided to do it. You made the calls. I'm not making your calls, bro. Mm-hmm. You got to do it. I'll give you the information. I'll tell you where to go. And that's usually where I stopped. And people said I changed their life with just information. Well, I didn't. They did it. Whatever I said got them to do the work, believe the thought, or use the technique to win. People just need to win more, dude. At the end of the day, all these people that haven't made it in the insurance business, dude, a lot of people say, don't worry about them. Like, you know, there's a saying I heard in MLM, you know, some will, some won't, so what, next? And I'm like, why next? Why not slow down and help them?
Correct.
Because they don't have technology. And, you know, it takes a lot of time and effort to manually train somebody. Training isn't just, you know, here, watch a video. I watch mixed martial arts, doesn't make me a black belt. Mm-hmm. Training is good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. I don't need to teach someone what an IUL is versus a variable versus a. I need to teach people how to build a relationship, right? I need to teach people how to freaking, close a deal. I'm not even going to train them all this stuff in the beginning, if you ask me. Someone comes to me fresh, bro, all I'm going to teach them is the fastest way to find success. Because if there's a retention issue, that's what the issue is. They're not succeeding fast enough. Somebody negative at home isn't seeing the result. Hey, honey, give me another month. I see a lot of people making money, but you're not, and you've been in 3 months. It's time for you to go get a real job. Mm-hmm. And they don't even realize you just derailed literally the promised land. Because in my opinion, the promised land is you don't work for anybody. I never liked working for people. I hated it when I had to ask somebody if I could go take the day off because my daughter's having a birthday or whatever. Like, are you kidding me, dude? I felt, what do you call it when it not, is emasculated? Emasculated?
Emasculated.
That's where you don't feel like a man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt that way.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, no, I'm never going to do this again. And maybe that's why I, became quote unquote successful. Because that was one of my motives. I'm not, you're not going to tell me what to do. I got kicked out of my house at 16 because my dad wanted me to mow the lawn, and I said I would, but I forgot. And when I got home, he said, I thought you were going to mow the lawn. I said, I forgot. He goes, I think it's time you hit the road. Booted my ass out. Dude, I don't like being told what to do. Never have. There's millions of people like that. And then guess what? We're willing to do what we need to do, but to have the ability to work for yourself, what's the investment? You got to get a license, $200
literally
at the max.
$200.
Yeah, and again, if this is the right person's shit, I'll pay it.
And
You probably say, no, don't do that. We've tried that.
No, I didn't say it. We pay for the licensing class. We've been doing that for
But
years. But even that part,
All I'm saying is, if anyone's got an excuse listening to this, dude, it's an excuse. Now listen, everyone's a millionaire. You got a million excuses, or you got $1 million, but you can't have both. Mm-hmm. So I'm not here to. Like, I can save you from drowning, but you got to swim towards me. I'm not swimming out towards people. Mm-hmm. Like, you gotta stop and come my way. But the information boils down to this: the mindset, the skill set, and the habits. That's all I got to teach somebody. With that, and this vehicle.
Well, I'll tell you what. We've been in this industry 8 years. It's been around for a long time. And it makes all the sense in the world to me that nobody's ever gotten anywhere near the numbers we've gotten to. Because a lot of the stuff we're talking about here, getting people out in the field, minimizing this, not overtraining them for months and months and months. We used to do our sales training like the product pays if they die, go out and sell it. But I think we've created more people than most companies I can think of. There are plenty of massive companies that make a lot of money. But when you look around, they ain't got many people, if any, making the amount of money you make. So it's going to be a hell of a run. I'm excited.
Dude, I've seen people on TikTok before I even met you guys.
Yeah.
And it was family first. I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
But if it's young people saying, success
right.
month. And it's like this kid was probably 19, 20 years old.
So if someone wanted to work with your agency, even if they're not licensed, they can call you. If they don't work with FFL, they can call you. What's a good way for them to reach out and say, I'm ready to work with you?
Well, I would go to realfinancial.com if you're interested in that. But you can also go to bradlea.com and just click, there's a little button that says, make money with Brad. Submit your name. And it doesn't have to be insurance. Again, if someone can't get licensed and then they still want a job and a vehicle, call me. I'll hook you up with somebody. Mm-hmm. But I'm more interested in getting people dialed into this deal. Why? Well, because I like win-win-win scenarios. It's win for me. It's a win for them. And it's a win for the family.
Client, yeah.
Like, dude, those are rare.
Yeah.
It's not, it's going to be 6 months of slow rolling until you get on your feet. Oh, you're going to have to do some sacrifice for a while and tighten the old belt loops. No, dude, you could get rolling day one. And if you plug into what I'm going to create, dude, then you better go. I'll refer you to somebody else. I can't help. I can only help people that want to do it. They just don't know how. And if you're listening to this, because this goes out to what? Agents?
It goes out to people all over the country. Do people that aren't in life insurance, who work other places, work at FFL.
Listen, I'm going to probably boost your what do you call it? Recruiting for all of you in the business, and you're welcome.
Called a win-win-win.
Yeah,
But I mean, people are listening. I'm convincing them right now. Whoever was trying to get them in, they're like, they didn't do it. Well, this is doing it. So you're welcome, kids. But don't worry, don't worry.
So he said earlier in the podcast, I said thank you. He's like, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, yeah, because what we're talking about right now is convincing people right now. They're like, oh man, and I call it the pickle jar. You know how you hand your wife the pickle jar and you squeeze the hell out of it, and she goes, well, I don't know why, but you know, I'm the pickle jar, dude. Everyone's like, and then I come along and just, what are you trying to do, dog? What are you trying to do? And I am blue collar, if you will. I grew up blue collar. I'm not fancy, even though I'm excited to see if the insurance space allows me to make. I already know it will. Like, see, when I sit here, I start to think to myself, dude, I almost want to just like stop everything else I'm doing. It's so exciting. I can't because I have a portfolio of companies that I have to tend to. So if anyone's listening to this and you haven't already made the decision, here's what I tell you. This is the 5 factors of success. Number 1, you got to take a chance or work for someone who did. Period. Is that you or not? Number 2, you got to be good at solving problems, so quit avoiding them. You know, there's so many people that are afraid to let go of what they have when they clearly don't want it. I mean, I don't want to let go of what I have because I might lose what I don't want to go after what I want. Does that make any sense? So you got to be good at solving problems. Don't avoid them. You just get up and get good at it by practicing. You got to be able to make adjustments, right? Then you got to learn your butt off. You got to literally seek new information every day, because if you're not getting what you want right now, it's 100% one reason. You believe what you believe, which is why you do what you do. So if you want to change your beliefs, there's only one way to change your beliefs. Seek new information. If you have no new information ever introduced to you, your beliefs will never, ever change. The only way a belief will change is to get new information. Like, hey, I thought this was water. I drank it. Oh, it's vodka. That's new information. Otherwise, I would have thought that was water the whole time. You can't change what you're getting unless you change what you're doing. You can't change what you're doing without changing your beliefs, and you can't change your beliefs without getting new information. So every day, people should be seeking information. If you come on my squad, like the Real Financial Squad, dude, I'll be showing you books that nobody knows about that freaking turns you into an animal. And then the 5th one is just outdo yesterday. Can you outdo yesterday? What'd you do yesterday? You know, can you outdo it? 5 factors. You know, take a chance, solve problems, make adjustments, seek new information on a regular basis, and outdo the day before. If you don't do it, it's because you don't know or you don't care. And if you don't care, I can't help you.
Well, dude, we're happy to have you. It's going to be a good, you know, and it's funny because when we all started talking about this, you know, I'm a big observer. I like to watch. You know what I mean? I like to see what people are about and what they want to do. And anytime somebody wants to truly change people's lives and has a passion for it, I'm in. So I think it's going to be a good relationship and a good partnership. I'm excited, dude. So welcome to the team, brother.
Thank you.
You got it, man. Right. Good to have you.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you, Drew. Appreciate it. There you go. Good job, Factory. That always gets me pumped up. I love that stuff.